Practice may be closed, but Garden Old is not. Welcome to the Garden Old Show, live from the Captain Black Fishing Studios. Vince, how are you today?
I'm as good as I can be, Ryan. It's Thursday. I had a really great week thus far, though. I'll tell you that. We can talk a little bit about the beginning of the week with the St. Patrick's. Ryan, you are wearing green today. You are
Very
living
intentional.
your Irish heritage.
I
I don't know
do.
if you
I'm
are or not.
26% Irish.
Okay, there you go. But I spent some time doing a little bit of that fun stuff this week too. So, but we are live. This is Garnet and Old live. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. And we are coming to you live from the Captain Black's Fishing Studios. Captain Black is an offshore charter boat captain out of Panama City Beach, Florida. And he is a Knoll. And you should, as Knolls, you should support Knolls. I try to support Knolls. We should all try to support Knolls. And if you are looking to do some offshore fishing, give Captain John Black a call. He will definitely do you right. He'll also want to talk Knolls stuff with you. And he will also probably get deep into conversations about the Marching Chiefs as well. So if you do that, let him know that Garnet and Old sent you. That's Captain Black's Fishing at Panama City Beach, Florida.
Captain Black doing the thing. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Captain Black, if you do go deep sea fishing, will give you access. Unlike the Florida State practice scenario right now that we're kind of facing. Now, listen, we are never the guys that are on the ground, right? There's other shows that do that. But it was announced that this year there will be one kind of like open practice that, will probably be workouts and that's it. But the rest is going to be off the limits. Now, Vince and I talked about this last week based on what the word would be, like what our opinions would be. And we both agreed that there is a happy medium here between no access and all access. I think that it is a middle ground, but it's skewed more towards no access by far. I thought it would be something like every practice, but only the first 15 minutes, kind of like what Jimbo used to do a lot of times.
Right. Yeah. So they're actually at the practice, but they're really not seeing anything of any consequence. Like you're seeing some guy kind of stretching his groin is all you're really watching.
Yeah, you get to see the bend, the good bend.
Yeah.
But that won't happen this year. This year, at least in the spring, we don't know what will happen in the fall, but I think it's safe to assume, Vince, that nothing will change. I'm just going to make that prediction. I don't think anything will change. And I don't think it should necessarily. You don't want inconsistency.
I put a poll up on Twitter about 3 hours ago. So if you guys are on X and you want to go find my poll that I put up there, it's at VC Knoll. You can see it there on the screen. But the poll is basically media blackout. Good choice or bad choice? And there's actually a third choice there too. But so far we've gotten 19 votes thus far. So not maybe a mandate. But I will reveal the poll results here as we get further into the show. Get some people a little more time to go check out the poll.
The coach's poll.
The coach's poll. That's old timey, man. I love that. I always love that. So Ryan, you and I, aside from the fact of having some more factual stuff to talk about during our show, our weekly show, we're not necessarily ridiculously affected by this as far as the show is concerned. Now, like, I enjoy all the updates. I enjoy knowing things, and I enjoy someone's opinion. I mean, people are tuned into all of these shows. They watch all of these YouTube shows. They listen to podcasts, whether it's, I'm just going to go through the list. So I don't leave anybody out. Okay. Um, you're watching War Chant, you're watching 247, you're watching Sporadics, you're watching Renegade Report, you're watching 850, you're watching who am I missing? X's and Knowles, you're watching Rockin' Knoll. Who am I
Double
missing,
fries, no
Ryan?
slaw.
Double Fries, no slaw. Like all these guys. And
There's
by the
only a
way,
few FSU podcasts.
yeah, and we, and Unconquered with Jason Staples. Like Ryan and I listen to
Sometimes.
all that. We listen to all that stuff too. And then Allcast, yeah. We're like, just bring it all. It's like, bring it all in. Because I want to make my own decisions, based off the information that I'm hearing. But the fact of the matter is, Ryan, they all had a bunch of access in the past if they wanted it, I guess. Maybe not like unfettered access, but
Yeah.
more access than they have now.
Yeah, the bigger ones did, yeah.
And where did that leave us? Right?
Yeah, hurt feelings.
A lot of hurt feelings, a lot of people getting called out, for, quote unquote, lying to the fan base. People are only going to, talk about what they see and what they, and their opinions. Like, that's why we listen to that stuff, Ryan. I do not expect those people that are, the hosts of those shows. I do not expect them to be football experts. I don't. I do expect them to be somewhat knowledgeable and to be able to tell us, oh, by the way, 2-run home run, Florida State, top of the first against Miami, 1 out currently, 2-run home run immediately. So it's 2-0 Knowles right now.
That's good. Sorry.
Good start. But I go back to my original thing I was saying, because I'm kind of long-winded here. And that is that it's not really necessarily affecting us in terms of our show, right? Because you and I are always making up our own stuff anyway. You know what I mean? And we were never at the practices to begin with. So,
yeah, the big thing is for me, Vince, is for this year, I think it actually works out better for the fans. And hear me out here. There was going to be nothing. Let's say all the practices were open, fully open, unlimited access. Let's say Vince and I went every single practice and with binoculars and took copious amounts of notes and reported what we saw. This year specifically, there would have been nothing that we could report. We could say that Thomas Castellanos looks like Jameis Winston, and it's going to be an all-American offensive line, and none of the fans would believe it, nor should they after what happened last year. Because at the end of the day, what the media reports is only what they see. They have no context on the competition level. They have no context necessarily on a lot of them not being coaches themselves. Some of them are. We have a few in the sphere that have been coaches. And you'll notice that a lot of those guys that were coaches were a little bit more hesitant to reign last year's team, a 10 or 11 win team. There was many that are more in the nerdy space of FSU that said, this thing could not be great. No one thought 2 wins. But my point being is, Vince, I actually think it works out better for the fans this year because open practice would have led to every single video, every show did, people saying, we don't believe you guys. Okay, prove it. We'll see it when we see it. Instead, we're all just going to be speculating and saying, we'll see what we see. We don't really know. All we can tell you is what Mike Norvell said, which is always coach speak. So this year alone, I think it works out well. And by the way, Vince, I don't think, and I want your opinion on this, I don't think that this policy is going to be Mike Norvell's forever policy. I think this is very much a purposeful policy with new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, all the nonsense and noise that came from last year, and trying to get as much noise out of the system, keep all the players locked in. And I bet you, Vince, if we go out there and have a decent season, then next year things open up back in again.
That's actually in one of my notes to get to for tonight. So we're gonna skip around a little bit. For those of you who think that Ryan and I do not show prep, take that. This was actually on one of my notes to talk about on whether this is a forever thing. Sis, or as open as it was before, you know, is that another home run? Another home run, by the way, Drew
We're off to a
Furrow.
good start.
Yeah, 2 home runs, 2 back-to-back homers. No, I'm sorry, there might have been an out there between, but anyway, 2 home runs in the top of the first.
Miami's pitching staff is fantastic. Let me tell you what.
Oh yeah, so this guy's throwing looks like a changeup, and was that Drew Furrow? No, that wasn't Drew Furrow. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So people are going to look at it and say, okay, the practice was more open last year, and it resulted in 2-10. And then let's just say this year is what it is, and maybe we win. Let's just go middle ground. Let's go 8 or 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And people are going to say, well, see, without, because they're super secret, like that's the way to do it. No, I said this when they decided to close the practice. Actually, we kind of knew this was coming to a degree, but I said, who really benefits from it? The only thing that I think the benefit is this season is that there is so much that's brand new this year that taking some of that distraction, because it is a little bit of a distraction, I think, especially, for the younger players, taking that away is probably helpful. I don't think, though, if it ending up in results of wins, just like I don't think 2-10 was the result of media having access to the team. I don't think 9-10 wins, media not having access, that's the result of that. Like, that's ridiculous. Coaches are very, they're very like calculated and superstitious, and they want to keep everything so close to the vest. And I don't know that in the grand scheme of things that it really matters. So I'm hoping that, if when this happened this year, that maybe we see 1 or 2 years of it, and then it kind of loosens up a bit. I don't think next year, by the way, I don't think next year we're going to go immediately back. I do not think that.
Depends on the results. I think if we won 10 games or something this year, it goes full on into, man, we're proud. Let's show the world of what we're proud of in the tapes, as it were. But this year, Vince, I agree with you. It goes back to install, and I think install is very important right now because you're not just breaking in a new scheme. Like, we brought in one new assistant coach or something like that to help out. We didn't bring in I'm not even going to bring it up. I was going to bring up what's his name from US that we brought in to run the help Barnett, the Talon and Willie's tenure. Remember that? Anyways, we're not doing that. It's a whole new staff and complete overall. So really, and the players are all new too. So you want to eliminate
many of them, yeah.
You want to eliminate all the static, as it were, out of the system. And
no static at all for
no static. And
Steely Dan fans.
What I did like to hear that goes into this idea of, hey, install and brand new things. You want to trust who you're handing your offense over to too. And I did appreciate this week that Mike Norvell basically said, I have the best offensive coordinator in the country. That's what he said. He a little pound of the chest there.
You better think so.
And what I like about hearing that is not necessarily me agreeing with him or thinking like buying into a hype or anything like that, guys. So don't take me the wrong way. But by him saying that, it shows that Mike Norvell can truly, for the first time in his career, be in CEO mode. And he doesn't even have to think twice of like, hey, maybe I need to, make sure that the offense's practice is going well. He trusts Gus like me or Vince would trust each other to run the show if one of us was out. Like, that's what it's like. Like, I'm not even checking my phone. Maybe I'll check afterwards and see, make sure everything went without a hitch. maybe leave a comment and a like and subscribe. By the way, you guys should. But essentially, he is able to say, "I'm on. Mike can go on vacation right now, and that offense will still practice the way he wants it to." That's the way he's talking profusive praise about his former mentor and friend, Gus Malzahn. So that part's a match made in heaven. And then that Mike's not necessarily like an expert all-in guy on the defense anyways. And now you have a staff that had one of the best, if not top 5 defenses in the country the last 2 or 3 years in Nebraska. Like really, really good stuff. And so you have that trust that these guys aren't coming from division, FBS level schools and they got a big promotion. No, these are guys from proven. Nebraska was playing some good teams, Big Ten, obviously. And they shut a lot of teams down that had some powerful offenses.
Mm-hmm.
Gus Malzahn has run the ball on anyone who's anyone for years and years and years and years. And so you don't have to have that worry. So I don't worry about not having practice access, Vince, because I actually trust these assistant coaches that were hired more than I trust any of the assistant coaches we had before.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting that you say that because we trusted them until we didn't.
Right? So let's go back. But what I'm saying is go back to Mike Norvell getting here his first couple of years, right? I don't think any Noel fan would sit here and tell you that they were beating their chest about, man, what a great defensive coordinator we have.
I got you. No, you're
no
right.
one was saying that.
It was all more like, this might work out. Let's see how it goes. We have to
even
kind
Alex
of trust it.
Atkins, same thing. No one knew who he was when he got here. Now he turned an offensive line that was dreadful into a serviceable offensive line. So we said, okay, that should keep translating. But again, we weren't like, man, Alex Atkins, Hall of Fame offensive line coach. Neither one of those guys, when they came in, we had the same feeling of, yeah, this will work out. It was like, let's see. Yeah. I really believe, Vince, with both Gus and Tony White, I really believe that they know what they're doing and they have provable years and years of results that I don't have to question it. I already know it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike Norvell's primary job now at this moment is to make sure he's got a lot of really quality gears. His job is to make sure they're all connected and they're all, finely tuned.
Mm-hmm.
So that is when you're gonna take yourself out of the weeds and you're going to put yourself at a more CEO level. Everybody says it all the time, the CEO level. Your job then is, yes, you have to understand you got to be in the weeds if you need to be in the weeds. But every day, day in, day out, your job is to make sure your guys that are in the weeds are absolutely, unequivocally on the same page every day. And there's not a chink in the armor as far as what's presented to the team as a whole. Yeah. That is his job. I think he's well equipped to do that. Which is, going back to, the main topic of the show. I think that's one of the reasons why I am semi-okay with the fact that they're removing some of the things that that could possibly be, a bump in the road. Hey, Ryan, while we're here, we're about 20 minutes in. Can you go through and some shout outs on some people?
Yeah, real quick, not just a shout out, but I actually want to talk real quick, and I'll go to the other people too. I want to bring up R. Wilmer's comment here. Not worried about the OC or the DC knowing and teaching X and O's. My outstanding concern is that they can land big-time recruits. So here is also where Mike Norvell, being a CEO-type coach and able to step back, should free him up to focus on recruiting, because it was clear to me, Vince, that last year's transfers that came in, prior to last season, I feel like with a lot of trusting your coordinators on, hey, who was on their wish list and let's go get them. And I didn't feel the micromanagement from Mike Norvell on like who he really wanted. So I would actually prefer that right now Mike Norvell focus not only, of course, making the practices going okay, but once you have a few under your belt, you can trust Gus and Tony White and company to run the practices for the most part. I would, if I was Mike Norvell, really focus in on local recruiting in the state of
Yeah.
Florida.
I mean, we all know that, that is the, that is the piece that has not gelled,
Yeah.
to say the least.
A couple
While
other shout
Ryan,
outs.
yeah, while Ryan is doing shout outs, I'm going to get ready to announce a little goal here for us.
April Holly says, great show. I love that we have Thomas in the chat, the big Lubbock, Texas Tech and FSU to the Big Ten. Yeah, I don't know about Texas Tech. We'll see. Good to have you on the show. Rock and Roll, as always, hanging out with us on the show. Always a part of the Garnet and Old show. And we also have R. Wilmer, which I just brought up. So those are the shout outs so far. We have a few others that usually join about halfway through. But Vince, why don't you hit them with the goal?
All right. So a couple weeks ago, Ryan and I started we tried something new to put a super chat goal up, and we hit that goal that week. And then we tried another goal the next week, and we didn't hit that goal, and whatever. That's the way life is. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But I noticed that, and for those of you that are in the YouTube world more than I am, this may have been around for a really long time. I don't know, but Super Chat has YouTube has a built-in goal thing. So we're going to try two different goals tonight. We are going to try a Super Chat goal, like we've been doing, of $25. Okay, and then we're also going to try this YouTube goal thing too. And what that is basically is not an amount, just not amount in terms of dollars, but an amount of super chats in general. So this particular goal will be 5 chats within a 30-minute time. So I'm going to start that goal right now. And if we hit either one of these goals, either a $25 goal or 5 super chats during the session here, then we're going to give away 5 memberships to Garnet and Old this evening. How about that? That's what you do.
That's doing some things. So help us keep the lights on here, folks. I promise 100% tonight, if you super chat even $5, we will focus on your question, which I hope your super chat is a question or something you want us to answer or talk about in detail. We will go into it. So help us out here. Let me tell you one thing, Vince. I'm excited post spring because coming out of last year, we were so frustrated from the snub and everything, right?
Yeah.
That I felt no matter what happened, let's say we even won 9 games last year and it was a fine season. I knew that team wasn't going to reach the level or potential that the previous year's team. I mean, me and you talked both on the show and off the record. We didn't think DJU was like neither one of us had him as our primary pick in the offseason. I think we made that pretty clean, and we both wanted Cam Ward at first before it was made clear that he was interested in Miami. There was a few other prospects that we also preferred over DJU. So nothing that could have happened last season, even if it was good, would have felt like anything more than just like kind of like a filler year until we kind of reload a little bit. This year, I always prefer the climb from the not. I don't like to go 2 wins. That sucks. That sucks for all of us. But I always prefer, and I think you're on the same page with me on this, Vince. I always prefer the climb years, the ones where you were lower, and now you feel like there's an opportunity to go much higher or much higher. Now, much higher than 2 wins is an 8-win season. Higher is 6 wins, like a bare minimum.
Right.
Outstanding would be 9 wins. So this year, it doesn't compare. It's not. I'm not comparing X's and O's here, but it's similar to how I felt 2013 season. I was so excited, right? Versus the 2014 season, both undefeated.
Yeah.
But that whole 2014 season, you were like, there's nothing but I feel like a disappointment waiting to happen. That whole season felt like we're just waiting for the disappointment to happen. We just keep somehow finding a way to win these games, and I don't even know how. Similar to this year, I'm not saying I'm feeling like a 2013 season coming on, but I am saying that I am excited because it's going to be better than 2 wins. I will put my Garnet and Old reputation for whatever the hell it's worth on the line, saying that we will not have a 2-win season next year. Mostly because we play 2 cupcakes this week 2 and week 3. But I think we'll at minimum have 6 wins. I really do. I think that's minimum. Like everything goes bad, 6 wins is what's going to happen. And that's
Right.
exciting to just think that we'll see something better than last year, which was horrible.
You said that's exciting.
Yeah,
That's funny. That's exciting. The 6-win mark is exciting, but
compared to 2.
compared to 2, it kind of is. And compared to 2, 6 wins get you to a bowl game, which
Mm,
if you think about it, like most of our lives, just making a bowl wasn't that big of a deal.
right.
But it kind of is right now. Um, yeah, I mean, I looked at last year as kind of a maintaining year. I thought we would a little bit of a step back, but more of a maintaining. And it definitely wasn't that. It was a trapdoor season, right? So you know I've seen them before, not to that degree, but I've seen them before. I'm not anticipating that this season. Ryan, going back to the media thing, um, I think Rock and Roll um, put a comment in there about the fact that most of the FSU media guys aren't really FSU fans. Do you know that to be true? Someone also just told me the poll is closed.
The poll is closed. Ask your
Hmm.
question again, Vince. I was focusing on the poll.
Yeah. Um, sorry. Do you believe that the majority of the FSU media guys are not FSU fans? They're just in it for the
No, that's
paycheck.
dumb. Now, some of them didn't grow up FSU fans because you have to separate 2 things. That's their job. So, believe me when I say they're excited to come to work when FSU is doing well
Yeah.
because it's no different than if your company is doing well. It's not like you grew up, Vince, you didn't grow up a fan of the company you work for now. You weren't like so excited you couldn't wait to just turn 18 to go work for where you work now. But it's a lot more fun to go to work when things are going well. And you're excited to tell people about things when things are going well. And when
Yeah.
things aren't going so well, it's not as fun and you don't feel like talking about it. So I want to caution people on saying that, like, they're not FSU fans or whatever. I would say a majority of them are. A majority of the people in the media that cover FSU are FSU fans and grew up that way. We all know the ones that are, and yeah, there's a few that even I have a hard time listening to as long. Um, but listen, they all have a job to do. But I will agree with one part of this conversation, Vince. And I'm not sure what you're trying to do here on the screen, but I'm waiting for it.
Just you keep going, man. You're
One
doing
part of the
well.
conversation I do want to bring up, and I think where some of this comes from, because it's not the first time. I love War Chant, Vince.
I know
I
you do.
do.
I know you do.
However, I'm not. I'm not. I already said his name once. The 2 things: the video that he put together a few months back that was very insulting to the efforts of last season. Okay, combined with, I don't know if you saw it, and I don't know if it was him that posted it, but on the War Chant feed this past week, there was a photo that said, I forget what player it was, coming in with his game face and had it in quotation marks. And they snapped a photo of the guy looking like totally unenthused, which, by the way, if I took 10 pictures, you might have a of one person in a row. You'll probably have one that looks normal, one that looks like laughing, one that looks.
Well,
It's
that's
just
just
when
the
you
way
took
the
the
world
photo.
is. That's the way the world is anyway, because of the
Yeah.
technology we have in our hands. You can
Yeah.
go through your video and find the frame you want and match it to whatever kind of vibe you want to portray. Um,
Yeah.
so, so yeah, so the deal with him, and I know we're not, whatever, but um, like he's been around long enough to know that the FSU fan base isn't playing that game. Like you can't be cutesy, right? I mean, if he wants to continue doing that kind of stuff, then he's going to feel it.
Yeah, and here's what's weird to Rock and Noel's point. We all know Aslan went to Florida State, so he is an FSU fan. However, just like any other fandom, I've been to many games. Vince, you've been to many games. There's fans that are in that stadium that within 2 seconds of me watching them or hearing them, I immediately say, one of these guys, right?
Right.
So doesn't mean Aslan's not a fan, but I think where some of the vibe of these guys don't even come across as fans, I think has risen from some of the things and choices that Aslan has made and said on the air appearing negative, and
Yeah,
it leads to an oversimplification of all these guys. Where I think a majority
absolutely.
of the guys are fans and would love nothing more than to report on a national champion season, uh, like we would. So I think that's overblown. That narrative is overblown, and it comes from a place where people get really mad at a small number of posts.
Everybody wants everything to be black and white, and it's not, right? So it's like,
And he's still employed, so he
because
must do a good job.
he's, and I think there are certain aspects of, okay, this is true of everybody. I'm not just talking about him. This is true of everybody. If you have a job and you're successful in your job, there are things that you are successful at, but there are other parts of your job that you need work on, right? No one has got no one has got 100. What happened to the poll? Did you hide it?
I've never seen the poll. It's been blank since you started talking.
Oh, sorry.
There
There
you
it is. Sorry about that.
go.
I don't know what's going on tonight, folks. Here you go. Like, I'm great at a lot of things, but what just happened there, I'm not great at. So I need to get better at that. And he's no different. You know, there are things about his
Shtick.
shtick that are do not. I don't jive well with that, but that's his shtick, right? But I have a feeling that that shtick doesn't play with many people, and you know that comes from a, you know, the fact that I've been around the block a little bit, and I kind of understand, you know, how to engage with a wide, vast array of personalities and people, and kind of make it work. And you know, he's young. He's young. But anyway, enough about that. I also don't think, by the way, that the majority of those guys are just in it for the paycheck. There are some for sure, and that's true because that's just the way the world is. But I think the majority of those guys have a passion for uh, Florida State in some form or fashion. Either they went to the school, or they grew up around it, or their parents were alumni, or whatever it is.
Yeah, Vince is just
Um,
in it for the paycheck. That's what he said.
yes, I'm just in it for the paycheck. Those paychecks are going out. Those paychecks are going outbound. Not very few of them are coming inbound.
Mm.
Um, so here's the poll. And yeah, you're right. For those of you that went to get the poll and the poll was closed, I made a mistake there and cut the poll off right when the show started, which I shouldn't have done. But here's what we got: 19 votes, and 52% say good. Absolutely. Black them out. Don't let them in. And then we got 42% saying irrelevant to the success, which is where I fall. I didn't vote. But I fall in the 42.1, Ryan, and I know you probably fall in the good, right?
Yeah, I fall in the good. To be honest with you, if I was running a football program and it was my college football team, I wouldn't have open practices. Never. I wouldn't have any. I would run it as tight as any program because I would tell the guys, listen, if you want to get shine on you and you want to be seen and get reported on and all this other stuff, go play well in the games. That's what I would tell them. You're here right now to get better, and you guys can get better. And you're still going to do interviews with the media after practice.
Right.
We're still going to give you opportunities to do that, which is important, for your NFL or non NFL future. But I've always believed, like, if I'm installing especially new offense. But even if I'm not, if I'm installing plays or scheme, I would. I mean, I know it's not like you can hide everything, but I would be kind of paranoid about that. That's just my default
Yeah.
nature.
And I'm not that at all. I would it would be the most access uh the fan base has ever seen if I
Hypothetical.
was
I
in
want I
charge.
want to ask you this because it was in the news this week.
Yeah.
It was reported that Deion Sanders would like to play another team
I bet he would.
in some kind of spring game. Not that you would pick to play Dion in Colorado, but what do you think about Vince? Close practices, but then us partnering, let's say, with a Clemson to have a spring showcase in a neutral field with. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean the pro teams have these combined practices occasionally, right? Logistically, I don't know how all that would work. But and then you run, it would have to be kind of a controlled thing because you don't want to run the risk of getting people hurt, for the sake of having a combined practice.
Yeah,
Um, but
it would be like a Pro Bowl kind of thing, you know.
yeah, but I mean, I think the teams would do well with that.
Yeah,
You think they would let the fans come and watch that? I doubt it.
I'm laughing, man. Sorry. R. Wilmer. I think Aslan is more passionate than Corey, who is a UGA grad, but I bet Ryan likes Corey. I absolutely love. Not only do I like Corey more than Aslan, Corey Clark is my favorite part of War Chant of any of the hosts. Better than Jeff, better than Tom. I am a Coracle guy because I feel like I don't know if you guys can tell, we are like kindred spirits. The way I handle myself and kind of have awkward moments on the shows and take a topic that was smooth and Vince is just eloquently going on a topic and I just throw a random thing that didn't even need to be talked about in there. So when I listen to Corey, I a lot of times hear myself and how I like to host shows. So yes, I love Corey Clark.
Yeah, Corey's a good guy, and he loves Florida State, by the way,
Hmm.
regardless of where he went to school. And I guess he went to UGA, did he? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did.
But he grew up going to Florida State games, and as far as I know, his dad was a big Florida State fan, and um, so yeah. Anyway, um, if they if they allowed me to run the program, yes. Ryan, you would have access to whatever you needed, even give you the playbook.
You would send the Chiefs to every practice.
I would
Them.
send Chiefs to every practice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually a good point, Ryan. We would have the Chiefs at every practice.
Why have they never done that? Because if you want to simulate game day sounds and everything, why not just have the Chiefs playing super loud and practicing
Well,
while they're
interesting. I mean, they're pumping in Chiefs all the
yeah, but
time.
wouldn't it be cool to play live? That'd be awesome.
No, absolutely, it would be. Now, during the fall, people have probably seen these videos. Norvell will come over and speak to the Chiefs, and I don't know. Maybe there have been times where they've sent a small group over to kind of kick off a camp or something. I don't really remember that, but yeah. Hey, that'd be cool. Send Chiefs to spring camp. Send Chiefs to tour duty.
Yeah, I would love it. Like have them just but have them go to the players
Somebody's
working out and playing
Yeah,
it in their face.
right. Somebody's vomiting in a trash can, and you got a sousaphone. You got a royal flush guy. Just kind of giving him the business there as you're
Yeah,
vomiting into the can, like
war chant only.
Tracy
Don't.
Morgan.
Yeah,
What's
that
that?
Tracy Morgan clip was fun. Yeah,
Oh, it's
poor guy.
nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts.
Vince, are we ready for a random topic or not yet? Do you have anything else you want to cover?
Well, I just want to remind everybody, it looks like we're struggling here tonight, and that's okay. We have a goal tonight. We have two goals. We either have a $25 goal or we have 5 super chats for the evening. If we hit that number, we're going to give away 5 memberships to the YouTube channel.
Hmm.
And so we have approximately 13 minutes left there. So if anybody is looking to support the show, that's a way you can do that.
All right, Vince. My random topic. This is a good one. You know how I like my. This isn't really so much as a conspiracy as it is uh, ancient alien type stuff, but like
Hmm.
this plays into it. Have you heard about the new Giza pyramid discoveries that happened this week?
Um, I have not heard about that,
All right,
but
Vince.
Ryan,
So
I'm not in all the QAnon stuff like you are.
no, this is on reported on Yahoo News, CNN, on
I'm
every
kidding
news
with you,
site.
man. I'm kidding with you.
I don't wait for Q on this. This is too urgent for Q. um, a lot of people have speculated for a long time. How did the
Wait a
pyramids
minute.
get built?
Wait. We're getting to the random topic at 7:40.
It's an important one.
All right. Well, we got to circle back around.
I'll circle back
So,
anytime for
yeah, we need to
synergy
circle back
purposes.
around. So, those of you that are here for the spring media blackout stuff, we're going to get back to that. But Ryan has got a specific thing that is like, I can tell, Ryan, you're itching to talk about this.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
important to me. So
Okay.
everyone forever, like we've all watched documentaries or little mini series about like how did they build the pyramids and like what was the purpose of it. And you have the logical ones where it was like, yeah, it was a tomb or maybe some kind of water intricate system, or some even crazier theories that some kind of electrical like power plant of some kind, like ancient stuff. So they use sonar sound waves for the first time ever to scan underneath the surface of the pyramid,
Hmm.
which you would assume that most of it is just like it's just the ground and then the pyramid. So they found 8 exactly the same size vertical cylindrical wells encircled by spiral pathways that stretch down underneath the ground 648 meters each. Ultimately, at the bottom of this, merging into 2 cube-like structures, each measuring exactly 80 meters per side. So you're all the people have been like, listen, there's ways to explain how they got those rocks up there, how they built the pyramids. There's ways to explain that, or the most logical explanation could be that, whatever it was. You tell me how back in those days they got 8 cylinders, almost 700 meters deep in the ground, with caverns exactly perfectly built with 80 meters around chambers down there. Now we have no idea what they are. This is sound waves showing them on radar. But Vince, have some fun with me here. What the hell, man? What what,
Hey,
what are your thoughts?
maybe Harry Stamper drilled those holes. Um, so I so I have not seen this news report. So
Mm,
hold on. Oh, let me back up. You're saying that beneath the pyramid there is
eight
a
cylinders.
tube or 8 cylinders
Mm-hmm.
beneath each pyramid?
No, underneath the main pyramid,
Uh-huh.
there's 8 cylinders evenly spread out in the base of it,
Okay.
going down
Okay.
700 meters each.
And there's spiraling walkways on
Staircases,
them?
yep, walkways, and it
Okay.
connects to 2 connecting chambers at the bottom that are 80 meters on each side.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't shock me at all, Ryan.
So, yeah,
What
go.
what
I
do you,
want to hear
yeah,
it.
yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? We already there's already a lot of speculation about how the pyramids themselves were built. It it's so now we're going to say, hey, it's not just about what was built above sea level, above the ground. Now we've got a really big problem because how are you going to be able to bore, to that depth with, a chisel and a
Yeah,
donkey? Like
yeah,
like hmm where does
yeah.
this okay, so here we go, everybody. Ryan, where's this taking you in your brain?
This takes me directly to there was. Have you ever heard of the Younger Dryas theory?
Say it again.
The Younger Dryas impact theory.
No.
That we actually have our years messed up as far as age of the Earth, and there was actually advanced civilization a few thousand years ago, very advanced civilizations that were equal in technology in different ways to us, but not in the same way. Like not in this, like not with computers, but with you know electricity and
Industrial stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that there was a cataclysmic event that wiped out those advanced civilization, and so it did so in such a rapid way all at once that we just assumed like there was nothing until we, our modern civilization started to pop up. And this is based on a Netflix series that's a like science documentary, but the guy's kind of like likes to go down and kind of explore those sites in which there's no way that these match up with the dates that we've been given on the age of things. And
Yeah.
so I actually think that one of two things has to be true. Either it was super advanced civilizations, meaning like our level type knowledge on science, mechanics, and that kind of thing, and it will wiped out and we started all over again, or it was aliens. So is such a thing even possible? I say yes.
So we don't want to get real deep on this. Ryan, maybe we need to have a conspiracy channel.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Separate than this. Someone asked me today at work, we're doing some training stuff at work today. We're doing a book club. And by the way, the book is The Ideal Team Player by Patrick Lencioni.
Mahomes. Oh, no.
Good book, easy read. But someone was asking me about the YouTube channel, and I was explaining to him, and he goes, I'm not really into college football. So I said, well, yeah, you're probably not going to watch it then. He said, well, maybe you should do other channels. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should, but what other channel could there be? Maybe this is that other channel, Ryan.
Yeah, we could call it Garnet and Foil, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So there are many people that believe the Earth itself is not nearly as old as people say it is.
Or you mean older?
No, it's way younger than what people think it is. That the carbon dating and all that stuff is
faulty
not an
science.
accurate depiction. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know where I stand on that, but if you're telling me, Ryan, that there was a pretty advanced civilization, and then there was some cataclysmic event that pretty much wiped out everything, and then another civilization, started to thrive after that. There are several Miami home run. Sorry about that. 3-1. There are several stories in a well-known book that, or there's a particular story in a well-known book that talks about something like that. So
there sure are. By the way, across many books, across many different areas, that all have very similar stories, just told from a different name.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's interesting, Vince, and this is my last thing I'll say about that, is then we'll loop back to Florida State.
Yeah.
The book in which you're talking about, assuming the Bible, and this is not a religious podcast, but
no,
there are a lot of stories in the Bible.
We can talk about faith on this show. Absolutely.
There's a lot of stories in the Bible that are found in other writings across the whole world. There's a lot of similarities, is what I'm saying. And one of which is that there were, at one point, before a cataclysm, giants and godlike type creatures that were stronger, larger, that kind of thing. And that would make sense if we're getting into the real fun stuff, that if there were giants or some kind of hybrids or creatures that were stronger, that they would have been able to build. We have a $50 super chat.
What?
My man
hit the goal in one shot. Come on now.
And using the hashtag.
Yes, Marching Chiefs all the damn time. Fellas, people in the chat, what you're looking at here is Knowles helping Knowles, and one Knoll particularly that helps Knowles all the time, especially if they like to go fishing, is Captain John Black. What you're looking at, Captain John Black, right there. Thank you,
Handsome.
John. I appreciate that. The show appreciates that, and you continue to support the show, and um, I'm humbled by that. So thank
Thank
you
you very
so
much.
much. That means we have hit our goal of at least $25, and we are going to, at this moment, Ryan, give away 5 memberships to the show.
While you do that, Vince, to wrap up what we were saying about the story, part of that Netflix show was that the cataclysm they believe has happened is some kind of strike which caused massive flooding on the world, which is found by um, a odd assortment of all kinds of different bones found in what they consider like if you were to get caught up in the end of a dirt pile after the water has receded, where all the bones kind of ended up very oddly from like hundreds of different species spread in one area. And so yeah, who would have thought that maybe a flood, Vince, reset humanity? Who would have
Yeah.
thought?
I just put a note here in the comments section. We're about to give away 5 Garden Old memberships. Let's do it at 7:55, Ryan, and give some people, if they're on X, if they want to jump over to YouTube right now, we'll give you a couple minutes to get over there so we can give this away. Ryan, do you have anything planned for this evening?
I do, yes.
Okay. Okay.
It sounds like one of those. Are you in or are you out? The Rock, with Kevin Hart, and he's like,
No, the
"What
reason why I ask is this topic is burning right now. So I was gonna suggest maybe we hang out and start just like a random live show
we should
just
do
on
a save it for a
conspiracies.
members only because I
Yeah, I
think we
think
could.
I think more people would enjoy it than just the members though. But
We'll
anyway,
do
go
we
ahead.
release it a week later because I am of the belief, guys, and this is the last thing I'll say on it, that I think science that we have proven science
Science.
potential. There's pseudoscience that's like it. They think they know, but they don't have it conclusive because you can't know what you weren't there to prove. And things like the Bible are not adversarial, but actually very simpatico.
Yeah.
Big Genesis, Big Bang. Why can't they be the same thing?
Yeah, let's have discussion, Ryan. We're going to set up a show. That's going to be our next show. We're going to talk about, our other show we did was about drones. This was to be more general.
We couldn't cover JFK because we don't have all the files yet. We have a lot of them, which was interesting.
Right, right. I'm going to gift those 5 memberships 2 minutes. Right, we're at 2 minutes left. In 2 minutes, we're going to gift the memberships. So make sure you're getting over to YouTube for that. Let's get back to the media blackout, Ryan.
My man R. Wilmer is spitting some truth in chat, FY. So yeah, the media blackout. The last thing opinion I have on it, Vince, is let's say I was one of the media members that had access the last couple of years, like was going, and now it doesn't. Right? I honestly, as a diehard Knoll, and most of these guys will tell you they learned very little from those practices, other than yeah, this player seemed to flash, but who knows? It wasn't good against good. It wasn't starters against starters. There's always that caveat of like, yeah, we don't even really know what we were looking at for sure. We're not allowed to see the scrimmages, right? Which that would be the most informative. They were never allowed to see those. So what you end up having is just kind of, oh yeah, they looked athletic. Uh, this quarterback had a nice run in a deep shot. Very anecdotal reporting. So selfishly, if I was in Tallahassee right now and had access and no longer have access, I would just be like, you know what, I get to sleep in now a little bit, or I don't have to be out in the hot sun while they're doing this kind of stuff. I
Right.
would see it as I'm going to stay home in my air conditioning. I have a few sources inside the program, and I'm just going to text them and probably get the exact same information that I would have anyways from being there. So I don't think media being there was ever helpful of knowing what to expect as far as expectations. It was more beneficial to us, the consumers, because it's something to talk about.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we just imagine if you had a job to do and your job was to write 85,000 words a week on a particular topic and you weren't ever allowed to see the topic. It makes your job a lot harder. Here come the memberships right now. You got to be on YouTube to get them, folks. And here they come. Grillmaster gets one. Morris Simmons gets one. Antoine Johnson gets one. Michael Morse gets one. And Tempest gets one. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
I have my own fireworks fence.
I know you do. I have my own little thing here I wanted to try, and it worked pretty good. There's a little fireworks.
I like to imagine that there's some dog right now being like, God, hit the deck, hit the deck.
So those of you that got a membership just now, thank John Black, who is in the comments as FSU MCATDT 1000C. Thank him because he helped us hit our goal. He actually hit the goal himself tonight, and we were able to give the memberships away. So send some thank yous his way. That gives you 1 month of access to Garnet and Old members only shows. And then if you choose to continue on after that, we'd love to have you.
Sweet, sweet fans. We're so happy you're here. Vince, any last comments for you about the closed practices?
No, I'll just go back to what I said. I don't think there's anything nefarious about it. I don't think there's some kind of underlying, deal about, we're going to take this away and never give it back. I just think they obviously think it's the best for them right now. And they're probably right about that. But I don't think it portends to, success. It doesn't mean that they're going to be successful. So, but if it helps them in their practice time, so be it.
Yep.
I'm here to watch the Noles win.
Yeah, win all the damn time. And speaking of winning, still 3-1 Vince in the baseball game?
It's 3-1, top of the fourth. Noles have a runner on third, one out. We just dropped a bloop single to left field, so we got another run in. It's 4-1. I would not be a good play-by-play guy, by the way.
Oh no, I would love it. I would do it, but I would be like, I would be the chaos agent on the show,
Yeah.
But Vince, it's been a pleasure. Thursday's always fun because you know what? On Thursdays it means it's Friday tomorrow. Because and I've said it before, we are the Orlando house for the third out of the fourth week in a row. We're having more people at our house this weekend.
Oh boy, you're that group. Yeah,
they're going to Disney. We're not. They are. But we said, you can stay at our house.
You are merely a stopover. If you are going to make them eggs, you have to charge them a little bit more because eggs are expensive. But yeah, good for you, man. If I lived in Orlando, I'd do the same thing. I'd say, hey, if you want to come, just stay at the house, man. Just stay at the house. There's no reason to pay tons of money to stay on property. Come stay at the house. That's what I would do too.
Yeah, we're basically we're better than a Motel 6. We're not quite as nice as the Marriott. We're somewhere in the middle. We're a extended stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you everybody for joining tonight. And remember that it's every Thursday. Ryan are here every Thursday. Without fail, we are. And be looking out for a new members only show coming soon, Ryan. We should probably plan that out.
Yeah, I'm available Sunday evening if you want to do it.
You heard it here, folks. You're getting a members only show this weekend. Thank you to Captain John Black for multiple things. First of all, for sponsoring the studios, but also for helping us hit the super chat goal tonight. Don't forget, if you need some offshore fishing opportunities in the Panama City Beach area, contact John Black. He will help you out and talk Noles all the damn time as well. Ryan?
Hey, man, screw ESPN eternally. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. And
send Chiefs all the damn time, people. Send them to practices, like Ryan said. Let's send them. It's cheap. They literally are right across the way. And don't forget, everybody, watch Noles all the damn time. It equates to money for the program. The more you watch them, the more they're going to make.
And the more
Go
we make,
Knowles.
probably.
Probably.
Go Knowles, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See you.